Now, one of the things that people are usually inspired by is astronomers and people that talk about the stars and the galaxies and millions of years, and they tell you that dinosaurs were around here, 65 million years ago, and some people say that they were around 2 billion years ago. Usually the guy with the most amount of years gets the biggest grant from the government. So it pays for them to put more years. If they start telling you, listen, the world's only been around for 6,000 years, they don't get any more grants. But one of the things they don't teach you is that these very same scientists that look into the universe and look into the galaxy also have one statistic they don't usually share with most people. Is that every galaxy, according to their knowledge, this is secular knowledge, every galaxy has an exploding star. Happen at least once every 26 years. Once every 26 years. And this is one of the ways that they can figure out how old a galaxy is. You see these things, the remainings of the star for many years. So if you see the remainings of 10 explosions, that means that this galaxy is approximately 260 years old. One of the things that they don't tell you is that in our own galaxy, scientists are estimating that there was less than 250 explosions, which if you do the math, that makes the world somewhere in the neighborhood of 6,000 years old. Which is very close to what Am Yisrael has been saying for 6,000 years. Another thing that they don't tell you is that NASA has spent close to $900 billion on different programs to discover different things for the stars, for the galaxy, for the sun. One of the things that they've tried to identify is exactly how many stars we have in the universe. In 1994, NASA came out, connected a supercomputer to a very high-end telescope, and they did a calculation, an estimate of how many stars they have in the universe. According to their estimate, there's 10 to the 20th power. 10 with 20 zeros after it approximately in stars. In the year 2004, 10 years later, a university in Australia came out with a little bit of a smaller number, and they said, no, it's not 10 to the 20th power, it's actually 10 to the 18th power. Now, they could have saved all this money, because on Gemara, Masechet Brachot, page 32, we have the exact number. Now most people, when they read this Gemara, they don't usually think about stars. So I'll read this Gemara to you, and you tell me what you think. The story goes where after Am Yisrael suffered from having the destruction of the Bet HaMikdash, they screamed to Hashem, and they said to Hashem, Hashem, even a husband that divorces his wife, still if you ask him years later, do you remember the wife that you divorced? He says, yeah, I remember her. But you have destroyed our house, you destroyed your house, and we feel like you've left us. That's what Am Yisrael says. The fact that it was their fault for the destruction, they're not mentioning. Similar to us today. We always complain to Hashem, but we don't look at ourselves in the mirror. Oh, listen, why would Hashem give me anything good if I'm not keeping Shabbat, I'm not keeping Tarat Mishpacha, I'm not keeping kosher, I'm not keeping any laws. The last law that I kept was I gave $1 to a homeless guy. The one before that is I went to Beit Knesset once last year. So we have to give Hashem a reason. So here in the Gemara, Hashem answered them. They had more merits than we do. Amar la HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Holy One, blessed is He, responded to her. Meaning He's calling Am Yisrael is daughter. Biti, my daughter. 12 constellations that I create in the firmament, and above each and every constellation I created 30 army commanders. And about each and every army commander I created 30 legion. And about each and every legion I created 30 ra'aton. And about each and every ra'aton I created 30 karaton. And about each and every karaton I created 30 gastara. And about each and every gastara I suspended in the firmament, meaning in the sky. I'll explain all of this in a second. I suspended in the firmament 3.65 million stars, corresponding to the days of the solar year, and all of them I created only for your sake. And you say that you've forsaken me and you've forgotten me. It says I created all of this for you. All of these stars. But before it gives you 3.65 million stars, which the actual number in the Gemara is 365,000 times 10,000. So before it gives you this number, it gives you all these weird words and is 12 times 30 times 30 times 30 times 30 times 30, and you get to the 3.65 million. So what is this? Chazal says this is actually the exact number of stars. It's a calculation of how to get to it. The 12 is the 12 parts of the universe. This is what we call the mazal, or the we have the everyone has a sign, the zodiac constellation. So 12 constellations. And then he says each one of these constellations has 30 parts, and each one of those 30 parts has another 30 parts, and he gives them a name. And each one of those 30 parts has 30 parts, and in essence each one of these is a number of stars. And the calculation goes 12 times 30 times 30 times 30 times 30 times 3.65 million. And then you get a number. And the number is 1064340, and then it's 12 zeros. The number is approximately 10 to the 18th power. So finally they caught up to us. Finally they caught up to the Gemara in Masechet Brachot, page 32. They could have saved all this money, maybe give some tzedakah. We live and learn. They wouldn't get the grant, Chazak Baruch, that's what it is.